We are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So Cardi B pays homage to Nicki Minaj. She did a costume reveal at her tour, her first show. And previously, Nicki Minaj has done it. But Cardi B and also Scratch Off have been watching Nicki Minaj, and they decided to do it while they perform. Fans were also talking about how allegedly the crowd was completely dead. Okay, maybe, people were shy. They didn't really feel like screaming and whatnot. But allegedly at her concert, it was completely dead. Now, one thing about Cardi, and I'm actually shocked about this, she cannot dance. My whole thing is, wasn't she a stripper? How you have no rhythm, you can't dance, but you supposed to be Latina and you was a stripper? I mean, rhythm should be within you. I don't get that. That's one thing I don't understand. I'm like, how can she not really have no rhythm and it looks awkward? She dancing like Little Kim on a stage, bopping her head all over the place. It looks a mess, no shade. But thankfully, that's why we not going to see Cardi B. Okay, that's definitely something I would never go see. Okay, so there's that. But also, she decided to do her own mute challenge at her concert, throwing shade at Bia, and Bia responded. Now, that mute challenge don't really count because you're supposed to be completely mute. You're not supposed to be screaming. But I guess that's her own version of the mute challenge, trying to copy Beyonce. Okay, Cardi B can't come up with an original thought, but she trying to copy Beyonce. Bia responded and said, "Can you name someone with more BMs than receiving yards? I can, and I know that, ... Now, here's the thing with Bia. I like Bia. I actually listen to Bia all the time. Her last album was fire, Guava. If you haven't listened to that song is fire. But you need to pipe down. And the reason why I'm saying she needs to pipe down is because Bia, when she dropped the song last year, you went on the Breakfast Club talking about, oh, what am I supposed to do? Go back and forth, Partisan Fontaine? Yes, bitch, you're supposed to go back and forth with Partisan. Nicki Minaj did it and annihilated Partisan. Okay, what are you talking about? And then also Kendrick Lamar, when he was going up against Champagne Thickums, he said, am I battling ghosts or AI? And then he also said in Euphoria, it's 1 versus 20 if I gotta smack niggas that right with you. Okay, he said that in Euphoria. So if Kendrick and Nicki, and I know you will never live up to them, let's just be honest, you'll never live up to them, but if Kendrick and Nicki can go up against ghostwriters, you supposed to too. You didn't want the smoke after she said you was at Diddy house, okay, and they was blowing that kitty out. Didn't she say that? And I think that's one of the reasons why Bia didn't want the smoke with Cardi B, because Cardi B probably got some tea on her and Diddy's sons that she was hanging around. So I think that's why she backed out. But girl, you were supposed to drop a diss track and drag Stefon Diddy and Cardi B when she dropped the song. She was pregnant with his baby. That would have been a perfect opportunity. You were like, oh no, she's pregnant. Now she's dragging you almost a whole year later, and now you want to clap back. No, that's not how that works. Okay, I like Bia, but you were supposed to drag her by her lace front when the song dropped. That's how that happens. Now, moving on from that, a lot of fans have recently been dragging Rihanna because they feel like she's aging like milk. That is the general consensus on social media. With that being said, Rihanna believes that Camel Face and Beyonce, this is just what she believes allegedly behind the scenes, that Camel Face and Beyonce are behind these negative accounts. She believes Roc Nation is behind these accounts, trying to force her to, put out some music or trying to force her to do some surgery to get back outside, because Rihanna really don't pop out unless she with her children or ASAP the Colorist or Fenty. That's the only really time she ever pop out. And she might pop out at the Met, but that's basically it, okay? Or a fashion event once here and there, but she never out on the scene like that. So she believes that Devil Nation is behind it, trying to get her back outside to put some music out, get some surgery, get back on the scene. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's somebody behind these negative accounts. I've never seen Rihanna get dragged like this before. It's actually shocking that they're dragging her. You know, Rihanna usually always get praise. But I will say, though, you know, Rihanna doesn't give enough content. So, of course, people are going to nitpick at your weight and nitpick at other things that people really shouldn't be nitpicking about because you just had a baby. But you don't give people content. Nobody cares about Fenty toothbrushes anymore. You're a billionaire, you got Fenty, but you got to give people other content, especially since you are technically supposed to be an artist. You know, you haven't put out an album in 10 years, but you're supposed to be an artist. Of course, you're going to get dragged. You know what I'm saying? And she don't have to put out music. But if you don't put out music and nobody cares about Fenty anymore, because it's not like Fenty is the number one brand anymore. It's not above Rhode and Rare Beauty as of right now, statistically proven. Rare is actually generating more money than Fenty right now currently. And it's not shade, but those are the facts. So you don't even have the number one beauty brand. So with that being said, of course you're going to get dragged, you know, because you ain't got nothing for anybody else to talk about other than your weight. You know, you don't got nothing else. So, you know, I don't think Rihanna should get dragged for her weight gain, especially since she just had a baby. But if that's all you're doing, then of course people are going to drag you for it because they're probably pissed you're not releasing music. And it's wrong, but that's probably why. And I just don't think ASAP, you know, people care about ASAP Rocky's music like that. So, you know, it's not like, oh yeah, ASAP's dropping though. It's like, nobody cares. It came and went. Like, we're not talking about ASAP's album anymore. Let's just be honest. Okay? You know, you gotta be married to somebody that is equally yoked to you, or be with someone that's equally yoked to you, where if you get dragged and then they drop a distraction, like when Jay-Z gets dragged, Beyonce drop a picture, or she'll send out Will Smith, okay, or she'll pop out and drop some merch to distract the public. ASAP don't do that for Rihanna. So that's the problem. Is like when Camel Face get dragged, Beyonce, you know, tries to distract the public, but ASAP don't do that with Rihanna. He's not a good spouse, in my opinion. You're supposed to stick up for your spouse, or, you know, distract the public. Now, moving on to Ayra Starr. This better be fake, because I like Ayra Starr, but I know she's not throwing shade at Tyler. So she did an interview, and allegedly she said there's a female artist who has stolen my style, how I dress, how I do my hair. She's even planning to title an album with my idea. This gotta be fake. This gotta be fake. I don't believe Ayra Starr would say something like this. She better not be talking about Tyler, okay? Because Tyler is running shit right now, okay? She just won a Grammy. Chanel is popping. So I hope that Ayra Starr is not trying to beef with, you know, one of the up-and-coming princesses of South Africa, because she's not as popular as Tyler. I don't think she, especially in the industry, I don't think Ayra is as popular, okay? I like Ayra Starr, but I don't know. I feel like she don't make better music than Tyler, does she? Because I feel like, what hit does Ayra Starr got right now? Because she popping a lot of shit right now. I hope she not talking about, you know, Tyler. This just better be fake, because I don't want to have to get to dragging. And I like Ayra Starr and I like Tyler, but I just don't think she's a better artist than Tyler right now. And maybe Tyler did copy, okay? But a lot of artists copy other artists. That's just how the game goes. You got to take that on the chin, because that's just how the game goes. Beyonce copied artists. Rihanna did it. You know, Cardi B has done it. We just talked about how she copied Nicki Minaj. I mean, that's just how the game goes, you know. And Tyler, she took that song title from Carisha and kept it pushing. She didn't care. She took that Chanel title from Carisha and still was topping the charts. And when she win a Grammy for it, Carisha gonna be really mad. But the point of the matter is, I don't think Ayra Starr and Tyler should be beefing. They need to collaborate. There's no reason to beef. Because if I have to choose, I'm going to choose Tyler right now because Tyler got the hit. Chanel, that's just been on repeat. I'm sorry. Push to Start, she just won a Grammy for that. That song is fire. Okay? So Ayra Starr, to me, she just got to step it up a little bit. I do think she's talented, but I just feel like she got to step it up. Now, moving on from that, unfortunately, Cardi B gets dragged again by the Trump administration because she said at her concert that she wanted to jump ICE agents. Let's take a listen.
Bitch, if ICE come in here, we're going to jump their asses. Bitch, I got some bear mace in the back. They ain't taking my fans, bitch. Let's go.
Now, Homeland Security said as long as she doesn't drug and rob our agents, we'll consider that an improvement over her past behavior. Yikes! Damn! That was nasty. Wow, wow, wow. Now, if you don't know, which I'm sure Cardi B and everybody else knows, and her fans, that she used to drug and rob men, which she has openly admitted.
Yeah, you wanna fuck me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drug niggas up and I robbed them. And I drug niggas up and I robbed them.
Then Cardi B, the criminal, also recently on Spaces, I think this was last year, where she doubled down on drugging and robbing men, saying she didn't feel bad.
Whatever, rob man, whatever crap. So what? I'll do it again, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't feel bad. Y'all know how I don't feel bad for no niggas. I feel bad for no niggas. I'll do it the fuck again.
Now, I stand by my statement that I said yesterday. Follow me on X, T on the streets. But I said drugging and robbing men is no better than being in the Blankstein files, raping underage children. Both are terrible acts. Cardi B is disgusting. The way she gets away with committing crimes is crazy. Okay, so that's what I tweeted yesterday. And I stand by that statement. Just because you drugged and robbed grown men, that doesn't make your crime any better or less worse than what those people did on the Blankstein Island. Both are terrible acts. And I think it's time for Cardi B to be held accountable. I mean, she's bragging about it. She's deflecting. She tweeted, if we're talking about drugs, let's talk about the Blankstein files and friends drugging underage girls to rape them. Why y'all don't want to talk about the Blankstein files, okay? So that's why I tweeted what I tweeted. And I feel like with Cardi B is that she does a lot of deflection or she manipulation tactics. And one of the reasons why Cardi B gets away with a lot of crimes is because she's not black. A black person would never be able to get away with that. If Camel Face, Diddy, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce ever came out and said they used to drug and rob people, and I know that, you know, Camel Face used to sell crack and stuff like that, but he's never said that he's ever robbed and drugged somebody. He definitely never said he drugged people. He might have robbed them, definitely, because, you know, he grew up in the hood. But he definitely has never came out and said that he used to, drug anybody. And imagine if somebody else had said that that was black. Cardi B is not black. She's not considered black. That's why she's trying to move into the Latin market. It's not going to work because the Latin community don't really fuck with her like that. And Bad Bunny didn't even want to bring her out. She was a backup dancer at the Super Bowl. But the point of the matter is, she needs to be held accountable. Okay, you're deflecting, you're bringing up the Blankstein files. Do you care about the Blankstein files? Because another person from the Trump administration, I think his name is Alex. I think that's the one that Nicki Minaj, she went to his wedding. He said, what a weak clapback. The only reason that Blankstein files are out is because of President Trump. Trump arrested Blankstein during the first term and just released millions of files. Your friends Camel Face and TMZ founder Harvey Levin are mentioned in the files. Any comment? Okay. Well, Camel Face, it was an anonymous tip. It wasn't, something that Jeffrey Epstein was emailing back and forth about with Camel Face or saying him and Camel Face were going to sleep with girls. It was an anonymous tip, but he still was in them. But Cardi B has not yet responded to this post. So let me know how y'all feel about it. All I gotta say is it's time for Cardi B to be held accountable. If we're gonna hold Camel Face and, Beyonce and all these other celebrities accountable, Cardi B also needs to be held accountable for her actions that she has openly admitted to committing. Now, Baby Keem and Kung Fu Kenny are coming. Now, his album Casino is dropping, I believe, February 20th. And he got a song called No Security Casino. Birds and the Bees. Good Flirts featuring Kendrick Lamar and Momo Boyd. House Security, I Am Not a Lyricist. Sex Appeal featuring Too Short. Tubu featuring Chi Akuro. I don't know who that is. Highway 95 Part 2. Circus Freestyle, Dramatic Girl, and No Blame. Okay? Now, these song titles sound fire. So hopefully, we get some bangers. I'm expecting the Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem collaboration to be complete fire. Okay, we can't settle for anything less. Now, moving on from that, Stefon Diggs appears in court to plead not guilty for insulting his chef, which he choked out allegedly last year, but he is still trying to maintain his innocence. Okay, so let me know if you guys think he will face the time for his crime, or will he get off scot-free? Now, I got some very hot tea on Patreon on Lil Jon and his son, and James Vanderbeek on Patreon. Link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a great day.